Welcome to the Victors Nation pod. We are coming to you live. I am your host, Jason Robinson. Joining me are my other PICs, my brothers in arms, additional owners of the Victors Nation, Derek McCarty and Dre Fam. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Still riding high from the Natty win, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Still riding high from the Natty
True
win.
that.
Also, we're coming here today to say a difficult goodbye. A difficult but well deserving, I guess, goodbye.
Very well deserving.
So we're gonna unfortunately my favorite coach of all time is now going to make the Los Angeles Chargers my second favorite NFL team. So I'm a diehard 49ers fan when it comes to the NFL. So for anyone listening that might be a Lions fan, including Dre, it's on this weekend. But Jim Harbaugh was my favorite coach to go through the 49ers, my favorite coach to come through Michigan. So difficult to see him go, but he brought us a natty. He brought us a national championship. There was a period of time where it felt like we might never see a national championship. It felt like a goal that seemed a notch or two above where we were at. And so he went through a turbulent year. Many times in his tenure at Michigan, he had the NCAA on his tail about piddly stuff compared to what the rest of college football is on. And this year, it really kind of turned into a political hit job against Jim Harbaugh from some of the major networks. And my opinion is that a lot of that came from the fact that he was a proponent of the transfer portal, a proponent of coaches can leave anytime that they want to. College students that major in anything outside of sports, if they go to college for music, if they are trying to get any career, they can go to a different college if they want to, but these players weren't allowed to. And he was a proponent of that. He was a proponent of NIL when the NCAA and the conferences weren't. And then he became a proponent of it's time to start some revenue sharing with these players. So when major networks and major organizations that bring in hundreds of millions to billions of dollars on something are asked to share some of that revenue, they're going to look to that person as asking as a threat. And my thought is that was really what created the target on Harbaugh's back that we all got to see. So he shoved it where it needed to be shoved by winning a national championship, right? What better way to give it to the Big Ten, to give it to the NCAA, to give it to the opposing fan bases that are vocally opposed to him than winning the whole damn thing. He proved himself, right? Someone, we already got a comment here that he proved himself for sure. So difficult goodbye. I was very, very hopeful that he would come back. I saw some reports yesterday afternoon. So we're recording this on Thursday night. Yesterday afternoon, all of the Michigan media was making it seem like nothing was being done with Los Angeles and Harbaugh was getting everything he wants back at Michigan. And then last night, I looked at my phone for like 1 second while I was getting ready for dinner, and that was different. But I want to hear your thoughts, guys.
Gap.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-hour gap. Like between the 3-hour gap, like yesterday afternoon or closer to the evening yesterday, it was Michigan is going to grant Jim NCAA immunity. They're going to make him the highest paid head coach in all of college football. And then all of a sudden, 3 hours after that, maybe a little bit less, it's Jim's going to the Chargers. So
yeah.
Thanks,
so
Jim.
I'm not gonna lie, it did break my Michigan fan heart a little bit to see Jim go back to the NFL. The selfish Michigan fan in me wanted Jim Harbaugh to coach at Michigan until he decided that he was going to stop coaching football. But he is my favorite coach ever. So I am going to become a Chargers fan now. And I am going to hope like hell that if the 49ers aren't the team that wins the Super Bowl, that Jim Harbaugh gets his Super Bowl. But I want to hear from you guys what some of your thoughts are on this whole situation, on Jim Harbaugh leaving, circumstances surrounding Jim Harbaugh leaving. So, Dre, you've the last couple of years, you've been posting pictures with Jim Harbaugh. You've probably got his signature on merchandise all over the place. What are your thoughts on Harbaugh leaving and going back to the NFL?
I have like mixed emotions about this. I think he actually deserves this, and he earned this. He did what he said he was gonna do. He restored the program to greatness, and I mean, I really can't really say anything bad about the man. I have no ill will towards him going to chase a dream that he wanted to chase. But I also wonder if he would have won that championship with the 49ers a long time ago, would he stay?
It's a good question.
I'd say, yeah, it's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? So, I can't, like I said, he going to a great organization. He got a great quarterback, great defense. I'm sad he's leaving, but like I said, I understand he earned it. Well, I'm not gonna say he earned it, but he deserves the right to chase his dream.
Yeah,
for sure. Jason, what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna get into the whole I mean, you guys can, but the whole athletic department thing. If
we're gonna get into it. We definitely gonna get into it.
I don't think we're ever gonna know really what happened there. Yeah, would I have liked him to stay? So, Derek, you're talking about that selfish Michigan fan? Like, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a bummer seeing that last night. Am I upset about it? No. So, as Michigan fans, we need to embrace the change. And I think we're still in very good hands. So, Ohio State, their fans, some of their fans, they think we're in shambles right now. Everyone that was going to the NFL draft, we already knew. We had a list of names that was already going to go, but they're making it seem like everyone's jumping ship. Your fan base is dumb for that. And then you already have a daddy. So Sherrone Moore is here to stay, and I think he's going to be our next head coach. So that's your new daddy now. But at least we don't have to purchase our players because we can't develop as well too, which is really embarrassing to be an Ohio State fan right now. It's kind of a joke, but to each their own. But yeah, I think we're still in good hands. It would have been nice to have Jim stay, but I mean, he came with a pretty much busted up ship, right? Steered the ship in the right direction the last 3 years. Really, really changed our football culture around as well too. I mean, he did an excellent job. And if he wants to go to the NFL, like I said, I don't know all the details. He's got, I'm sure, other dreams, aspirations as well too. And maybe certain things didn't work out with the athletic department of what he wanted. It is what it is. We're probably never going to know the answers to those things. We're just going to have to be opinionated and assume. But like I said, as Michigan fans, we have to embrace the change. It is what it is. And like I said, I think he's still leaving us in pretty good hands as well too. And we're going to be talking about some other things on the tail end of this pod as well too, on other departures and maybe hopefully retaining people. But I'm happy for him. I can't be mad. I can't be selfish about it. We can't be mad at Jim for leaving. He's a Michigan man. He did his job. And we're good to go. I still think we have a lot of talent coming back, and I think we're going to have have a hell of a coaching staff, right? So I think I think we're good. I think we're fine next year. My opinion.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I think we're hitting a new era of college football with an expanded playoff, with a couple super conferences being formed. So there's going to be there may be some years where in the upcoming future maybe we miss the playoffs, right? And there may be years where we make the playoffs, and there may be years where we're a top seed in the playoffs. It's going to be a different landscape than what's looked like so far. But you mentioned that you didn't want to talk too much on the athletic department on Ward Manuel. Dre, you mentioned a good question of if Jim Harbaugh wins the Super Bowl when he was with the 49ers, that he lost to his brother, which I'm sure, with as competitive as Jim Harbaugh is an additional driving force, the fact that his brother beat him in the Super Bowl. But if he had won that Super Bowl, would he want to get back to the NFL? I don't know. I think that I think that multiple things can be true at the same time. I can think that the interest in Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL and pursuing the dream of winning a Super Bowl was there. I think that was something that he wanted to do. That's another goal that he's been striving to hopefully one day achieve, right? So I think that can be true. And I think that it can also be true that more could have been done within our athletic department to keep him around.
Yeah.
Right. It was rumored all season over and over again that he was right there close to signing a contract extension. And every time it kept getting pulled, and kept getting pulled, and it kept getting pulled. And only on the final afternoon, when apparently he was set to sign a contract with the Chargers, did something start to come out saying that the athletic department or that Ward Manuel was ready to what he wanted to, what he was asking for in his contract. And the thing is, like the thing that gets to me is Jim Harbaugh was a culture changer, and this program that he has built, it's not built off of recruiting a bunch of 5-stars. It's not built off of going and buying people in the transfer portal like what we're seeing Ohio State do right now. That's not what built Michigan into a national championship team. Jim Harbaugh and the culture that he built, the way that he empowered his coaches, the way that he empowered his players to take leadership and ownership of what they wanted to accomplish with the team, that's what built this up. And Jim Harbaugh this wasn't a money thing for him to keep him at Michigan. It was he wanted to know that Michigan was going to have his back because he was clearly being targeted, and he wanted to know that he was going to have the protection of being able to coach at Michigan. And if there was something that the NCAA or Big Ten came after him for, that he couldn't just one day get fired and not be able to coach anymore. That's what he wanted, right? And we're going to hear things both ways. We don't have people inside of the athletic department or a source inside Jim Harbaugh telling us this or that, right? So we're just like everybody else hearing things. Jim Harbaugh's not the type of guy that I get the vibe is leaking things to sources. But I can assure you that there's probably people within the athletic department that would do something like that, right? That would leak information out to, at the final hour, give off the impression, hey, we offered Jim Harbaugh everything that he wanted. We just wanted the NFL more. And let that be the final
On
impression.
the day he pretty much agreed to work with the Chargers as well.
I did read something on Twitter. Let me read it to you guys. You probably seen it by now. But I read that Jim Harbaugh's attorney, who had been trying to work with Michigan to keep him in Ann Arbor, said, however, it took until the proverbial 11th hour on Wednesday for Michigan to give in on certain contract language. By then, it was too late. After months of Michigan rejecting the contract terms, his lawyer proposed in late 2023, a source with knowledge of the negotiations told the Detroit News that Michigan finally agreed to Harbaugh's proposal on Wednesday afternoon, when Harbaugh was already finalizing stages of discussions with the Chargers. I don't know how true that is, but
Is that from
if
John U.
that's
Bacon?
true, that's damning. I can't remember where I sent that on Twitter. I just
Probably from John.
John U. Bacon, I think, did share that portion of the article on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so John U. Bacon is somebody that he's not gonna put something out there if it's not backed with
exactly
right. He
Exactly.
doesn't spew rumors. And
No,
that came from Angelique, I think, with the Detroit Free Press, I think is who.
Yes, it was on John. It was on John U. Bacon's page.
Yeah,
I seen it on.
Angelique Changelis, I think, is who the person was that wrote that article. And again, another person that from my exposure isn't one to spew rumors into what
I follow him quite a bit. Yeah, and her as well too.
Yeah. So there are other people that have been close. There's another person on Twitter that Jim Harbaugh was close to that isn't one to hit the rumor mill, that has been very vocal on Twitter the last couple of days on something going on with the athletic department that is not right. Right. So there can be a little bit of both true. It can be true that on one hand, Jim Harbaugh did want to go back to the NFL, and it can be true on the other hand that that more could have been done to keep him here. And if both, one could have maybe prevented the other from happening so soon.
Yeah.
But
just kind of what's up.
I don't know what to think,
dude?
actually. You know what I'm saying?
Go blue.
Go blue, my guy. Go blue. Yeah, I just, man, I don't know, and we'll never know what's going on really, or what went on behind closed doors. But all I know, this is a real hurting day. If you're a Michigan Wolverine fan, even if you wanted Jim to leave the program because you was tired of the circus things, the NFL. But see, the thing about that is, I feel like if your coach is hot, the NFL is going to call him every year. So it was just a matter of time for somebody to pluck him from us anyway. But the people that wanted him to leave, I don't understand why y'all wanted him to leave. Like, he turned our program around. Did y'all remember what we had before him? Even though he just didn't come in beating Ohio State like everybody won't. But do y'all remember what we had before him? Do y'all remember what the program was before him? So like I said, we just gotta keep this momentum alive. And then I got one more thing to say. Now, look, I don't make no decisions, and I don't, you know what I'm saying, have no control over anything. But look, Michigan Athletic Department Ward Manuel Santa Ono, do not, I repeat, do not interview Brian Kelly. We don't want him here. No. We don't want him.
He would wreck this culture.
We don't want him here.
Beat his ass when he was with Notre Dame. Absolutely not.
So, with that being said, man, I can't speak for everybody because everybody don't have the same sentiment as I do. But I want Sherrone Moore.
Yeah.
I don't. We could figure out the defensive coordinator and the rest of the staff, but at the helm, we need Sherrone Moore. I think he'd keep the culture intact. I don't think with Sherrone Moore, a lot of the players exit as people think they would. You know what I mean? I think if we go outside of our culture, I think that's when we're going to have a problem with the portal and people leaving. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. With the Michigan rule thing with the 7 days, I don't know if he is already the head coach and they just can't announce it, or I don't know.
They're trying to appeal that right now.
That 7-day rule.
Well,
okay.
It's a rumor, but I mean, it's gonna come quick. I think if that's granted, I mean, we might hear something this weekend, but I mean, I'm 99.
So is the rule? So
he's gonna get the job.
Is the rule that they can announce it or they can't hire him for 7 days?
I think there's technically supposed to be like a 7-day window where the job is posted before making a hiring decision. So
okay,
I think it should be a no-brainer, right? I think, you know, like Jordan just said,
Facebook user, I can't see her name, but hey,
that
whoever
was
you are,
Jen Brannon.
Hey Jen.
So I think the window's got to be open, and you know, we're gonna get into that shortly, but you know, I want to, you know, take a step back before we get into potentially Sherrone Moore, and who should be the no doubt next head coach at Michigan for everything that you're talking about, Dre.
My fault for stepping ahead. My fault.
You're all good.
No, you're good. We're gonna segue to it anyways. So.
Yep. But what you started to talk about was where we were before Jim Harbaugh to where we are now, right? So the year before Jim Harbaugh was hired, we lost to Rutgers. That's where our program was, right? We lost to Rutgers. So the Rich Rod era was tough, but built up a little bit at the end, and then Brady Hoke started out kind of hot, but with Rich Rod's team, and then it really tanked, right? So we were in a rough spot as a football program, and Jim Harbaugh came in here, and I'm including the games that we won here while he was suspended, but since Harbaugh's been here, Michigan's gone 89-25. 89 wins, 25 losses. 3 straight Big Ten championships, and
I want to say in his 9 years he had one losing season.
Yeah, the COVID season, right? Yeah. Which if anyone wants to put an asterisk next to any season, let's put it next to 2020.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. What's up, Rob? Thank you for watching, man.
It's been a It's been a great ride. There's been up and downs, right? 2015 was the season that brought hope back to Michigan football. 2016, we were on the doorstep of the college football playoff right away. JT was short. I believe that with my whole heart, right? We should have won that game.
Man, that game still hurt, man. That game still hurt. He was so short, and oh my God, man. We're not gonna talk.
That's when Ohio State actually had money to pay the refs, and now they're giving it to players because they can't develop, which embarrassing. Like I said, it would suck to be a fan of them.
The suck eyes, man, it's coming true, baby. The suck eyes.
Yeah, literally. Can't even develop.
But see, it's gonna be more damning for them when we beat them 4 years in a row and they done paid damn near $20 million for players.
Yeah,
that's gonna hurt.
Oh, dude,
that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
So I think if you would have told any of us three or anyone in the Michigan fan base in 2020, right, in the COVID year, that not only was Michigan going to win the Big Ten championship in 2021, but they're also going to win it in 2022 and 2023 and throw one national championship in there.
Wouldn't have believed it.
No, not at all. And by the way,
I would have had my days, man. I would have had my days like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Like,
that Michigan bias, that Michigan bias would have got us. Like, we're doing this, but in reality,
then maybe, Jordan, Ohio State for sure,
for sure, Ohio State, and they're gonna lose. It's gonna be so crazy when they.
They're gonna implode after that.
My God.
Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. We're still sitting good, everyone, for next year. I know people have doubts, but relax. We're fine.
Right.
I think our biggest move. I think if we don't get nobody in the portal, I think we move Rob Moore opposite of Will Johnson and let Keon and Page be the free safeties. And I think that's how we. Yeah, boss. I think that's how we mask it up. But that's just me. I mean, Rob Moore is a great safety. You can put Keon Sabb down there if you want. I mean, it doesn't matter. I feel like if we don't get nobody in the portal, I think we still be okay. Even with McBurrows.
Right.
He was a good corner too. Go ahead.
We got Jair Hill, right, and DJ Waller, young guys coming up that there's big things coming from in the future,
Walker left.
and McBurrows as well.
But
So
I
wouldn't be
think I
surprised.
don't think the young guys. I don't think the young guys ready yet. I think they'll get ready if our defense can perform like they did this year and give like them garbage time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get them
I
more
think
reps.
McBurrows
They need. I mean,
There
Jay
you go.
McBurrows is. I mean, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but McBurrows is. I think his first name is Jaden. But
Yep.
McBurrows, he got meaningful snaps. He even got a pick. I want to say at Michigan State.
Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So he got meaningful snaps. Like I said, I don't know if that's the long-term answer for our
DJ
season.
Waller got a lot of meaningful snaps throughout the season too. Jair Hill was a highly recruited corner. I wouldn't be surprised. It'll be open competition for it. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the same or similar defensive scheme to see Rod Moore, instead of sliding into that corner spot, slide down into the nickel spot that Mikey Sanders still played this year.
And we also haven't talked about Dixon transitioning, and then also
Christian Dixon's going over there.
Berry. I mean, we were high on Zeke Berry a couple
Now,
years ago.
I think this is this just me, and this may be just because I'm a Zeke Berry fan, but I think this is his year. If he can get some meaningful snaps, I think he's gonna show why he was one of the.
Like I said, everyone's freaking out. Like we're fine. Trust me. Yes, we do need to hit the transfer portal. Maybe for
only way I don't see
like,
we
we're
find is
good.
we don't hire Sherrone Moore. If we don't hire Sherrone Moore, Michigan is about to be ass.
That is culture right now. Like we cannot turn the ship around and have someone come in and completely turn.
No.
Sherrone Moore is the guy.
Yes.
He's the guy. And I know we're going to talk about it, but he is pushing for NIL, for boosting that, and he's also pushing to expand and really focus on enlarging our recruiting department.
And to
be
honest, man, I think that's what hurts Michigan a lot. Not saying because we got to the tradition, we got everybody want to wear the wing helmet. Like our everything is straight at Michigan except NIL. I think. Now, I'm not saying we just need to just come on and start paying players, but
it's retaining though as well too. It's retaining because, like Derek said,
in our NIL game up, we got to get it up for the simple fact we're lacking in the people in the SEC and even Ohio State. Like, come on, Ohio State,
people in our own conference.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll take a developing culture over a purchasing culture all day.
Like
Derek was saying as well too.
Go ahead.
Derek was saying as well too, like tampering. I mean that is going on right now. I mean, Jim's leaving. These schools
that's not a rule. That's not a rule in NCAA. That's not a rule.
It still doesn't matter. They're still calling them early enough. So we have to retain these players. But the culture that Jim has built, the culture that these previous players
I ain't
have built.
gonna lie.
I don't see anyone
if
going
I was
anywhere.
a college coach and I heard Jim Harbaugh was leaving, I'm calling everybody. Hey, what y'all doing? Y'all chilling? Y'all staying? What y'all doing?
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. So you know, I think that a lot of programs are smart enough for the coaches not to directly try and contact any players. But what a lot of players have agents right now, right? A lot because of NIL. Most players have an agent, and so what's happening is these NIL collectives, not coaches directly, target the players' agents and basically say, "Hey, here's what we'll do if they transfer here." That's why we see guys go into the transfer portal and an hour later already be committed to a new school, right?
They already know they're about to get the bag. They was already promised to them. Hey, Derek, come on to Michigan State for this $3-4 million.
I don't know they're $1 billion, dude.
No, I'm just not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not fears, you know what I'm saying? Michigan State.
I mean, hypothetical too. I wouldn't know.
But you know, who does Moore get as defensive coordinator?
So
Jordan,
this would be a good
question.
This would be a good segue.
Yeah, good question.
Good segue, because we did post on the Facebook page to see if anyone had any topics that they wanted to discuss, and I think we had one question come through, right?
Ken commented on Facebook before we started our page, so shout out to him.
Yeah, and what was his question?
Thank y'all.
How to basically
what would it take?
Keep Jesse Minter? What would it take?
What would it take to keep Jesse Minter? So let's start with what would it take to keep Jesse Minter, and then we'll talk about potential alternates. So I'll start. I think that my opinion on what it'll take to keep Jesse Minter, I think the biggest thing is Jim Harbaugh not taking him. I think that the biggest thing that can happen, and I had maybe some false optimism because when Jim Harbaugh was the coach of the 49ers, his defensive coordinator was Vic Fangio. And yesterday, Vic Fangio, I think it was yesterday or earlier this week at least, Vic Fangio, who was this year the defense coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, they mutually agreed to part ways. So when I knew that Vic Fangio was no longer the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, and then Harbaugh was going to the Chargers, my optimism got to me thinking, all right, maybe there's a chance here that Harbaugh goes after his old defensive coordinator from his previous stint with the 49ers and not Minter. But I think that Minter is the best coach and the best defensive coordinator in college football this past year, the past 2 years since he's been there. I think that it sounds like he does want to coach in the NFL. I think the first step is that hopefully let's cross our fingers and think that Jim Harbaugh loves Michigan's success as much as we do and leaves them behind and doesn't try and pull them with them. The second factor would be he is going to be targeted by other NFL teams if Jim Harbaugh doesn't bring him on. So does that mean this year? Again, optimistic Derek says, I hope not. I hope he's back. But I think for me, the biggest factor is whether or not Jim decides to try and bring him on board with him. And the rumors out there are that Jesse Minter would be one of the coaches that Harbaugh does target. I don't know. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah, it's pretty much just mimicking what you basically just said. It's not going to be about the money. I think Jesse does have aspirations in coaching the NFL, and it's basically going to end up if Jim ends up taking him or not, which I don't see why he wouldn't. Jim, you're a Michigan man. Maybe let us hold on to him for a year or two, but that Baltimore Ravens tree, guys, like, wow. It has worked wonders for us. Mike McDonald, you've seen what he's done in Baltimore. I believe that he also interviewed for the head coaching job for Atlanta. I believe that was a rumor. I don't know if that actually happened, but Jesse Minter, he hasn't interviewed yet.
I don't think so.
But yeah, Jesse Minter and that just the Baltimore Ravens tree with McDonald and Mentor, it's been amazing. And I'm just, like I said, I'm mimicking what Derek said. It's if Jim takes him, he's probably going to go. I really don't think there's any money or anything we could actually do besides maybe naming him head coach, which maybe he wouldn't take that either. I'm not sure, but that's pretty much it. I mean, my opinion, but it's pretty much what Derek just said.
No, boys. My opinion is, even if Jim didn't leave, I think it was going to be hard to keep Jesse. I think
I agree with that too.
With him being so great these last couple of years, I think he was going to get either a head coaching job in college or he was going to be a DC in the NFL this season coming up. So as far as keeping him, I didn't think that's just my opinion. But I don't think we was keeping him even if Jim stayed. I think we was gonna have to reload with defensive coordinator anyway. I think his aspirations is to be in the NFL like he was. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was like very high in the Ravens like defensive coordinator status when we got him, but he done built his resume up, man, and I think he the best defensive coordinator in all college football.
Absolutely.
And so like I said, I don't think he was coming back regardless. Now, I do think Jim is taking him. I think Jim is a smart guy, and he knows exactly what we know, that he's one of the best defensive coordinators out there.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna take them. And like you said, it ain't about the money. Like I said, it wouldn't. Only way we probably would have kept Jesse is we made him the head coach.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's even a long shot. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind if Jesse was the head coach, but I just think that's a super duper long shot. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Sherrone it would be able to hurry up and they name him the head coach, maybe he could try to keep some of the staff together, and we work on some with Jesse, because like I said, Jim is the head coach. They haven't said anything about anybody else yet. So maybe we still got a little bit of time to try to persuade him to stay or something. I don't know. I don't know what is it, but I just feel like we was gonna lose him regardless. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I think we even talked about it on our podcast before the Alabama game. I felt like that was truly his audition as a defensive coordinator for an NFL job. So good. That can segue us to a little bit of what we've been talking about, and that's what's next, right? So I think we're all on the same page that Sherrone Moore should be the next head coach, and I think that it should be a no doubter. I would go and protest on campus in Ann Arbor against my wife's will if they went any other route.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you.
But we got to wait through that window. I think we're gonna have to wait like the 7-day period. I know that I don't know if it happened, but I had read that there was supposed to be a meeting today between Ward Manuel and the players to basically let the players address the situation. I thought I saw that tomorrow there's supposed to be a meeting with Harbaugh and the players to have his final meeting with them. But
okay, that's dope.
But
so he gonna come back to Ann Arbor, or is it gonna be like video?
No, I would imagine that he's probably gonna do it in person. I imagine that they'll
probably get clear all this stuff out of his desk and all of that. Clear his office out.
Yeah. So Sherrone Moore, I personally feel strongly about him carrying on the culture. I think that's why it's a no-brainer. Is he was the head coach for 4 games this season, and those games included beating Penn State at Penn State with his starting quarterback getting dinged up during that game, and then beating Ohio State. Right, so he's already got two big wins under his belt as a head coach. The players love him, the families love him, the coaches love him. I mean, it's a no doubter. We see what happened at Alabama. We see what happened at Washington. We see what happened anywhere that there was coaching changes, right? It's a mass exodus. And so I think that keeping Sherrone Moore and letting him fill the role as head coach, that's crucial for maintaining what we've got coming back. We're losing a lot of players to the NFL. We've got a lot of guys that are going to get drafted in a couple months, and hey, we're going to be there to watch it. But
Sure is.
So being able to maintain the depth that we've built up coming behind those guys that are leaving for the NFL, that's big. So maintaining the culture, that's huge. And that's what I think Sherrone Moore will do best is maintain the culture, maintain any recruiting momentum. Sherrone Moore he's been a great recruiter. He recruited, I think he was a recruiter for JJ McCarthy. He recruited, I think, Daxton Hill. So some of the bigger time recruits that we have gotten, because we don't pull in a lot of the 5-star recruits. Those aren't the guys that end up coming to Michigan a lot of times. I would love for that to increase, but he's been the recruiter for a lot of those guys, and obviously the work that he's done building up the offensive line. So I'm excited for him. I think that he'll pick up, and he'll still be a new coach, so he's going to make new coach mistakes. That'll happen. There's going to be portions of the job that he's learning a little bit on how to be a head coach through an entire season. But I think that he's the guy for the job. What are your guys' thoughts on Sherrone Moore taking over?
I'm gonna have to agree with you as well too. And I mean, I think Jim gave a lot of these guys interviews with interim head coaches while he was being suspended, and then self-imposed suspension as well too. But Sherrone Moore, I mean, handled a lot, right? So offensive coordinator, interim head coach, and offensive line coach at once. So it was quite a bit. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do full time as a head coach and strategist. I saw comments the other days like, we can't get more, like he's not ready for the big stage. I mean, your opinion's valid, but what are you talking about? That was his plan, one of his plan implemented. I think we're gonna be fine here. His resume looks pretty good.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick though?
Sure.
For those that say he ain't ready for the big stage, what was Penn State?
Right.
Good question.
What was Ohio State?
I don't know. It was a little surprise. I think some of us, and I was in that moment a little bit too, but I think we're being greedy as fans. Relax. We're going to be fine this coming season. We will be okay. People move on, and you have to embrace change. You have to embrace adjustments, and we're going to be fine.
I think people scared of the unknown, basically. I think
people don't like change.
Yeah,
people don't like change.
They scared of the unknown. They don't know if he gonna be great because this is his first real head coaching job.
They want someone that's already like proven themselves right away when they're not thinking about the external factors of the culture.
Exactly. It's all about the culture. The culture we
have
built.
Our man.
We can't destroy that.
We have our man, and he's proven himself enough, and we got to give him a shot. Absolutely. And what he's handled this season,
I just don't feel like we need to go nowhere else.
No, we don't. Interview's already done. We got him. He's it's like kind of going to college, right? Like, hey, I got an A+ in physics 103, but I don't have any internships. The guy's done both, okay, people? Okay, he has his experience. Give him the keys. Jim has left us with good hands.
Hey,
it's really about retaining Jesse.
You know how, like, in the NFL, they got, like, the Rooney Rule for coaches? They don't got that in the NCAA, right? We can just hire whoever in the NCAA, right?
I don't know, but I mean, I think.
Do we technically, do we gotta interview people, or just like we could just be like, okay, Jim gone?
Really, I don't think we can do. I think maybe if it's more of a discussion within that gap, but I don't really think there's anything like crazy. I mean, it's already expected, so I would assume that there's no like real true law.
Because John U. Bacon said Ward want him as head coach, Jim want him as head coach. So I just want to know, like, what is like. I mean, maybe it is the little 7 days that they. But come on,
I think that's
man.
what it is.
Like, come on, man. Let's get this over with, man. So we can start at least get somebody out the portal or something. Like, we got.
I thought Minter was on traveling as well too.
He was
for transfers. So I
mean,
like,
he was.
So that's another thing. It doesn't mean he's gonna stay, people, right? But like at the same time, like that is a sign that he's still doing his job.
I just feel like
hopefully we can run it back
as
well
this year. I don't feel like that mean a dang thing.
It doesn't, but he still has a job to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's still contracted by Michigan right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even though he might be leaving, I don't think he signed any contract. I could be wrong. Yeah. He signed any contract with the Chargers just yet. I don't even think Jim signed anything yet. Did he sign anything, or it's just in principle?
I think it's more of like a verbal, maybe agreement.
That's what I thought too.
It's happening. It's just
now. Michigan still has time. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Throw some extra little spice in there for him or something, dog.
I think that ship has sailed, but
hey,
like I said, we I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm kind of contradicting myself too. I'm a little afraid of the unknown as well too. But we have the talent, and it's just we gotta play solid defense yet. And I know there's going to be teams going after our defensive players and other stars that we have returning and that are going to step up on the big stage on Saturdays. But we got to make sure we retain these athletes, and it's got to be done the right way. And the only way we're going to be able to do that if Sherrone Moore is our freaking head coach. That is the only way that's going to happen.
Hey, so let me ask y'all this though: didn't Nick Saban do something like that? He signed he verbally committed to an NFL team, and like the next day he was like, "No."
I think he did the opposite. I think he said he wasn't going anywhere, and then I think he did a press conference, said he wasn't going anywhere, and then he ended up signing a contract to go coach the NFL.
I'm about to see. I'm about to Google it. What coach?
I'm not sure.
What coach quit after getting hired the second day?
It's not too late, Jim. So I don't know if he's probably not watching.
But another
coach that committed to NFL team then quit the next day.
Let's keep on this topic. Yeah. So then Sherrone Moore moves up officially, hopefully from offense coordinator to head coach. Who do we think becomes offense coordinator then? I feel like Kirk Campbell or Mike Hart are probably the top two candidates for that. I would imagine that Grant Newsome moves from tight ends coach to offensive line coach. But I don't know. Yeah. Who do you guys think for offensive coordinator?
I would like Mike Hart. I think he's paid his dues. And I'm not just saying, well, just because he's paid his dues doesn't make him qualified. Like, I get that before anyone else jumps in and says that. But I think Mike Hart is more than capable of doing that. He's helped Sherrone Moore with that game plan too, and I think a lot from Sherrone is going to be implemented as well. My only candidate that I want would be Hart.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I would be cool with Mike Hart. He's been in the system. I think again that's the system that we need to retain here.
Bill Belichick.
I don't think he's ever going to come down to Bill. Oh, you're talking about. Okay, never mind.
He was hired.
Belichick for offensive coordinator.
He was hired as the New York Jets coach and quit the next day.
Yeah. Yep. I remember seeing that. You guys have seen the 30 for 30 with the two Bills, Parcells and Belichick. No, if you guys haven't. It's really good. Really good.
But I knew it happened. I'm like, is it Nick Saban? But it was Bill Belichick. Now, with that being said, now y'all said you got to come back for a meeting with the players. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. Now they can give him a lucrative contract. You know what I'm saying? And he can actually quit. I don't think that is going to happen. But I'm just saying.
And we're talking Sherrone Moore here, and Joel Glatz. Joel Glatt's going to agree with us as well too. Because what we're talking about is pretty much what he's saying as well too, as far as the culture aspect. And Michigan has their guy.
So I'm going to kick it back to Jordan's question here now, right? So if we do lose Jesse Minter, if he does leave for the NFL as well, who do you guys think? Where do you think we go for the defensive coordinator? Do you think we look internal to bump somebody up to defensive coordinator? Do you think we look external to bring somebody in to hopefully maintain the system that we've started to develop? What are your thoughts?
I would like
to go first with this one.
Yeah, man. I would like to see Steve Klink in there, but if we can keep taking from the Baltimore Ravens straight out like that as well too. So hopefully Moore has built some rapport with John. But I know we talked about before we went live, Jim Leonard's name popped around. Seattle's defensive coordinator came up as well too. But man, I would like to see Steve, and I know it's kind of like obvious because I'm going like a lot of internal right here, but I think we are losing like 20 plus players in the NFL draft. I get that, but we got to remember we're also retaining a lot of top talent coming back next year and players that are going to hit Saturdays now. And I really think we go all internal. right here, and we keep this momentum going with limited changes to our plan. Obviously, you have to make adjustments and stuff per game, but I don't think we go outside. Am I going to be mad if we get Jimmy Leonard? I don't really think I'm going to be too pissed off about that. I actually like that guy. So I think Steve or Jimmy for me as far as DC goes. I think we got to get one of those two guys.
No, I'll give you 3 names. I'm gonna go with Clink as number 1, and I'm gonna go with Jim Leonard, and I'm gonna give you a name. He from the Ravens, but he was I want to say UCLA's defensive coordinator this year, but his name Danton. I think I'm saying that Deanton Lynn or Learn or some shit. I mean, my bad for excuse the language. Lynn, and I think I don't know. I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to keep this NFL. We gotta have an NFL scheme, so we need somebody with the NFL. I mean, not saying that I just want to come in and mess up the culture, because that's definitely not what I want to do. And I think Clink will keep the culture going, but is Clink ready for that Jesse Minter role? Like, do y'all think he's ready for the Jesse Minter role? Like, I don't know.
He could be, but another name you want to throw out there too that I just saw this afternoon was Zachary Orr, Ravens linebacker coach. Was also a name that got tossed around. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to be upset if we promote Steve to DC. I'm not going to be upset if we get Leonard, and I'm not going to be upset if we stay in the Baltimore Ravens tree. And I think those are 3 very possible options.
If it ain't broke, don't
very
fix
possible.
It. Let's go ahead and call the Ravens up.
No.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Do it.
You know what I'm saying? Let's call the Ravens up. That's just my opinion. I think why not? It's been working. We done had the QB next year, Orgy. Not sure if I spelled it. I think Orgy.
Jen Brandon again.
Yeah, I think Jen. I think
ORJI,
yeah, you spelled it correctly. And I think he's
mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be our starter. To be honest, I'm not hating on the guy because I think he's a talent, but I don't think he needs to be the starter at the University of Michigan. I haven't seen a man throw a pass. Have anybody else?
Well, it's against Bama. He couldn't get it off though, but it was close.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, so I want to. I mean, if before I say he can be the starter, I gotta see what it's looking like. I mean, because in my eyes, in my gut feeling, and I do not want to say this about him because I love Alex Orgy. Do not get me wrong, but I just got a feeling he's gonna turn out like Joe Milton.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think fans are worried about seeing a Joe Milton 2.0.
And that's what I'm scared of.
I mean, at least he can run through someone, though. I think we're going to be fine there.
Man,
but, I think we got to see his passing game maybe develop a little bit more, because we've seen in previous spring games, and I think both of you can attest to this too, he looks like a running quarterback. I think that's his comfort zone. Can he stay in the pocket and throw an accurate pass? And I think he's capable of doing it consistently. I think we need to see more of it. So we'll see this upcoming spring game.
A one-read quarterback and then dip.
Yeah. We got Jaden Davis. Like I said, I think Ohio State fans are banking on us being in shambles, and Jim's gone. You're going to lose a lot of players. A lot of these guys are going to take the money back. I really don't think we're going to see that this offseason. We're going to see some people transfer, which I think we had one Nichols already, but I don't think he was going to get enough playing time. He's at the linebacker position, but I really honestly
shout out to him though.
Anyone's
that's my guy, man. He did a lot of stuff for me this season, man. So shout out Jerome Nichols, man. You did a lot for me this season, man. I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna hate to see you go. His brother still plays for the squad. But
we love you, dude. I just think with Hausman, he's a junior coming back, and the Maryland transfer as well too. kind of didn't help.
Like I said, our defense. I'm not worried about our defense at all, man.
Maybe the depth a little bit, but but that's it.
The thing that I worry about with our defense could correlate to what we're talking about here and some of the things that we've touched on, and that is if Jesse Minter leaves, and there's that 30-day window where people can hit the transfer portal, or more tampering.
I think that started today.
Right. I don't know when it officially starts. I don't know if Harbaugh has to officially accept the job or they have to officially post the job.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But if that window's open and if most of the staff stays intact, that might mean very little impact on whether or not people at the transfer portal. If defensive coordinator leaves, if more coaches leave, that might open the door to potential people transferring. So I think that's why it's important that if we are losing Jesse Minter, we hit on the next head coach. But we're coming up on time here pretty quick for this podcast. Yeah. So I want to get one thing from you guys before we finish up. What was your favorite thing about the Jim Harbaugh era? Jason, start with you.
I think it was the chickens. No, I'm just kidding. I wonder if they're going to be traveling to LA though. I want to know that. Hopefully they are.
I hope so.
But no, I mean it's hard to pick out. It's hard to pick out one. He came into this program when it was just not doing so hot, and it took him a little bit, and just like Dabo Sweeney, like Clemson fans wanted him out as well too, and I think as a lot of Michigan fans wanted Jim gone at first. We didn't see success right away, and so I'm not going to give you a specific answer, Derek, but I'm going to be broad about it. But it's a good thing as well too, and the way that he changed this culture after that COVID season that we just talked about a little bit ago as well, completely steered the ship in the right direction. Got him the right people, made the switch from Don Brown to a different defensive coordinator and Mike McDonald, and then Jesse Minter, and kept feeding off of that defensive scheme and kind of letting the reins go on offense as well too. This is an unselfish man. He's a Michigan man. And the fact that some of us are pissed off like greedy little children that he's leaving to go to the NFL, we should be ashamed of ourselves. He got us a national championship. I'm upset too that he's not coming back, but we are in good hands. We have the keys to success, and we can keep this train rolling to defend our national championship. And I got a Jim Harbaugh picture that I just framed up the other day, Derek. I told you about before we went live. And we will forever and should be grateful for what he did. So for those of you that are throwing temper tantrums right now, stop. You have a right to your own opinion. You have a right to be upset. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit too when I first saw the news because it looked like we were going to get our guy. But be grateful. Celebrate a national championship this offseason and stop giving yourself so much anxiety of what could have been or what next season's going to look like. Stop. We are national champions. It's a big reason is because of Jim and what he has done to this culture of this program. That's what you need to be focusing on, and that's all. Don't worry about anything else. Because we did it.
Dre, favorite memory of the Harbaugh era?
That is hard. I really
say the chickens, man. The chickens.
I to be honest, this is a real hard question for me, man, because in the last 9 years, it's been so many memorable moments from Jim, from press conferences to the way he acts on the sidelines, to celebrations. I mean, Jim is a character, man. It's not just one thing I can't pinpoint, but I am going to miss this one thing, man. And I know y'all going to finish it when I say it. Who got it better than us?
Nobody, baby.
So now that's a chart. Now we got to let that go. And it's a Chargers quote now. You know what I'm saying? But that was,
hold on to that. We got to trademark it real quick.
I think that is my favorite my favorite Jim thing is typically just all him, man. And like I said, I thank him for his 9 years, man, that he did, and beating them 3 years in a row. You know what I mean? So, like, you're right, man. It's just so many memorable Jim Harbaugh moments. I'm sad to see him go, but I'm happy for his success, and I wish, I hope he gets his Super Bowl, with the Chargers, and he can ride off in the sunset again. You know what I'm saying? But it still damns me to just think, if he would have won that Super Bowl in San Francisco, would he be leaving to yesterday? Like, would he this even be a thing?
Would he ever even come to Michigan? I mean, it's like it's all hindsight.
Exactly. Hey, I didn't even think about that part. Like, if he won the Super Bowl, will he even got fired or let go or whatever happened? Like, yeah, that's a good question. Like, I mean, but it's so many memorable moments with Harbaugh, man. I can't pick just one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the guy, man. I know that. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, he was awesome. Great meeting him in person too.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss his goofiness for sure. Right, I'm gonna miss the chickens. I'm gonna miss the comments, like when he had a scratchy throat and he got asked if he was sick, and he said that he doesn't get sick. He's the iron wall that viruses crash against and shatter. I'm gonna miss.
I love that one.
I'm gonna miss that. But beyond that, I think that the way that he loved his players and coaches, like that was something that he showed in a way that a lot of coaches don't show. And like for example, after the national championship game, he was I couldn't calm down, so I was just watching TV for a while, and he got interviewed by Scott Van Pelt, I think, after the game, and he was on the field, and he stopped in the middle of the interview because one of his players walked by, and he stopped and said, "I love you" to his player as he walked by. And it was Tristan Bounds, right? It was a backup offensive lineman that there might even be casual fans that aren't sure who that is. But he walked by and he stopped mid-interview, said, "I love you, Tristan," and then picked back up. Like, just the genuine care that he had for his coaches and his players. That's what it's going to be hard to find someone that builds that. That's what built the culture. Was that personality that he brings to deflect everything off of them, but genuinely love the people that he's with.
And that's exactly
I think Moore is going to mimic that game too that he had. So
yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Jordan. On that note,
Jordan, appreciate you, man.
On that note, Jason, you want to give everyone a good reminder of where they can follow us?
Yeah.
What they can join.
So more places again to come, but follow us on Facebook. We're over 15,000 plus right now. The Victors Nation LLC. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Twitter and our website as well too. And make sure you follow us on this YouTube channel as well too. The Victors Nation podcast. But like I said, there's going to be a lot more to come that we're going to be opening up as well too. We know with this LLC we have to change as well too and make adjustments. More merch is going to be coming out as well pretty soon. So excited where this year is going to take us, boys.
One last thank you to Jim Harbaugh for delivering the best era of Michigan college football in our lifetimes, potentially the best era of Michigan college football ever. So Dre, you wanna give our followers one last goodbye and one last go blue?
I just want to thank y'all for following us and all the support y'all done gave us over season 1. We ended as national champions. Again, thank y'all for support. Y'all know my slogan: love one another, respect one another, and always go blue.
Go blue.
Blue.